A skateboard deck is one of the pieces that makes up a complete skateboard. The deck is the wooden piece that you stand on. Along with the wheels and trucks, the deck is one of the most important components of a skateboard and also costs significantly more than most other components. Decks come in many different shapes, sizes, and even materials. Most commonly, decks range from 7 3/4 inches to 8 3/4 inches wide and can be anywhere from $40 to $110, depending on the brand and material used. A wider deck provides more stability, while a skinnier deck is easier to flip. Wood decks can chip, wear, and snap with enough use. Some decks include plies of fiberglass or bamboo. These enhancements provide the board with a fast, responsive feel over a long period of time, where a wooden board may become spoiled and lose its responsiveness. Pros may be setting up a new board every week, while beginners can skate the same deck, sometimes for up to a year. Teenagers make up a large portion of people buying decks. In 2018, 44% of revenue in the skateboard industry came from people aged 12 to 17. However, skateboarding isn't just for kids. At any given skate park at the right time, you can expect to see people of all different ages pushing around. For many, skateboarding transitions from a childhood hobby to a form of exercise, stress relief, and sometimes even a job in adulthood. Skateboard decks start at the wood shop. They use large presses and water based glue or resin to adhere multiple plies of maple into one deck. Then that deck is shipped off to a distributor. Each distributor manages multiple companies responsible for a myriad of components. These distributors then ship out all of the decks to the shops who've placed orders for them. Skateboard decks commonly ranged from $40 to $80 before the pandemic. Afterwards, nearly all decks saw an increase in cost to the order of about $10 to $20, with some higher end boards increasing up to $40 above the pre pandemic price. Shown here are two decks from the local skate shop 303 boards located on the hill. The left is a shop deck. These are boards produced under the shop's name and are intended to be a more affordable option. The deck on the right is a VX deck from Santa Cruz. VX decks have two plies of fiberglass, which causes them to be more expensive but also more durable. According to Trans World Skateboard magazine, in 2001, about 100,000 decks were manufactured each month. Today, Jenga magazine reports that one woodshop, namely BBS Manufacturing, is now producing around 10,000 decks in a single day. While lots of research has been put into the use of alternative materials, wood remains the most popular material for a deck due to its reduced cost. Most of the wood used is North American maple because of its hardness and strength.
Maplewood is harvested in the northeastern part of the USA as well as the eastern part of Canada. Due to the fact that maplewood is easily susceptible to spoilage, the sawmills are located within the same regions the wood is grown. Within these sawmills, the harvested raw material is sawed into lumber, stickered, and then dried as soon as possible to prevent staining from spoilage. At these mills, the lumber can either be sold as rough or machined to meet the demands of a product. The majority of skateboard decks produced utilize the raw material and are then manufactured worldwide. Such countries include Canada, USA, Mexico, and China. Once the decks are fabricated, they are typically manufactured into a finished board within the same facilities. The desired finished project is then distributed commercially worldwide. For skateboard manufacturing plants located in Canada and the US, shipping distances from the lumber mill are estimated between 500 to 1,000 miles. Therefore, we can assume a standard lead time between 2 to 7 days.
As working community spaces began to shut down due to the pandemic, many people looked for new hobbies to take up their time. This caused quite a boom in the skateboard industry as people fled to local shops to pick up new gear. Along with the pandemic came a significant worker shortage. As the forest products industry lost employees, the availability of lumber decreased as well. Combine this fact with the explosion of orders coming into skate shops and how you can see a problem might arise. Boards were flying off the walls in the shops, but with limited lumber available for the wood shops, boards just couldn't be produced fast enough. To combat this, distributors set limits on how much a skate shop could order. This allowed them to ensure that every skate shop could get an equal amount of boards from the distributors while manufacturing was slow. This made it very difficult for most skate shops. With people coming in every day, shops were running out of product before they could get more. Even when orders were placed, they could be pushed back up to several months. The industry saw decks increasing in cost due to their limited availability. Across the board, from high-end pro boards to regular shop decks, prices rose at $10 at the minimum.
Distributors had to put limits on orders from the skate shop. This allowed them to slowly regulate the availability of decks. Before the pandemic, some wood shops required orders to be placed almost a year in advance. Once the pandemic hit, distributors and wood shops worked together to create target quantities to be delivered quicker at different points throughout the year. This gave the skate shops some peace of mind, knowing that even if they sold all their boards, more would be on the way soon. Currently, the lumber market is faced with a decline in demand as high inflation is leading to higher interest rates. Although lumber is essential to the production of skateboard decks, the housing market is what significantly drives the lumber market. As mortgage rates are increasing, we are seeing a decreasing demand for lumber to build and renovate these properties. Additionally, the economy has shifted from purchasing goods to purchasing services such as travel, restaurants, and events. So although skateboard decks are seeing a steady increase in supply, it may be a while before they sufficiently reach their demand again. As lumber became less available during the pandemic, skate decks rose in price to accommodate the limited supply. This price increase for affordable entry-level boards may have deterred some from getting into skateboarding. For those who've been skating for a while but are on a budget, the price increase may have caused them to think twice about hopping on the board, since snapping a deck would force them to shell out another $50 to $60.